I'm Cody, we're your hosts, and today we're going to talk about standing your ground when selling. Now first, before we get launched into this, I do want to say that take notice, this is the new merch that Austin and I have created and Tyler's going to jump on board with. So if you like what you see, drop a comment. We'll kind of give you guys some more details coming up here soon. But let's talk about standing your ground. So what do we mean by standing your ground?
Basically, it's like, where do you draw the line when you're selling an item? Where do you be like, this is the final point, this is what I'm selling for, I'm not going any lower. Standing your ground with pricing, standing your ground with selling.
Yeah, so a lot of it has to do with the offers is what you're going to run into. You may have a certain personality with selling where you don't do offers. And that's fine. The issue with that is you're going to lose a lot of customers. You'll sell it at a higher price most of the time, but you'll sell a lot less and a lot less quickly. Now, we run into offers all the time. We had a few today. The polo spell out that we had up here on the last episode, somebody offered. We wanted a little more. We offered another price. He declined. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you go back and forth. Sometimes they ignore you. There's a lot of different things. So what I really want to touch on is what amounts you should cut off on, when you should just not be greedy and take the sale because you need to make the sale, like when it's worth it, and also when you should stand your ground, you should just flat out decline it. Some people will be really stubborn and they'll kind of go back and stay the same price, or they'll go up dollar by dollar. And how many you only have a certain amount of offers. What is it on? It's on like 5 on eBay.
Yeah, it's 5.
4 or 5 or
5.
Yeah,
somewhere between there.
And Mercari, I think, may have a limit. Poshmark, Poshmark, there are no offers. There's just comments, right? No,
there's offers.
They can offer. Yeah, they can offer. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that. So many people on Poshmark just send a message and like 20, and then they don't answer. It's like, if you want $20, send an offer so we can negotiate. But that's another point. So let's talk about when you should kind of cut it and make the sale. Let's do the Willis and Geiger jacket, for example.
How much did we buy that for? Do you remember?
It was $25, but I don't know what the final price after tax was. So while he's looking that up, I'll explain this. We got this really nice safari field coat from a company called Willis and Geiger that is out of business now. It got bought by somebody, but the company in general is gone. They don't make the coats anymore. Super nice coat. I mean, one of the nicest coats I've ever even touched. It was amazing. Originally a $400 or $500 coat. The price it was going for is around $100, $150 on eBay. So we had it up listed for $150. And we had bought it for what is it?
$27.
$27 even. And so we had it listed at $150. We stood to make a huge profit, clearly. But we knew it wasn't going to get a lot of traction because not a lot of them sold. Didn't have a lot of traction on Poshmark. Didn't have a lot of traction on Mercari. Few views on eBay. It was one of those things that we thought it was worth it because it sold so high that it was worth it to put that $27 investment in it and let it sit. Now, come a couple weeks later, we get an offer through at $100. And that's $50 less than we had it listed. Granted, some of them are they're selling anywhere between about $85, $90 to $175, $200. So there's a huge range. So there's no telling what it actually would sell for. It's pretty much seller's discretion at this point. So the offer came through. I don't know if we were together or not, but either way, we got in touch. I don't think so. So I think I called Tyler and said, hey, I don't know if you saw the offer, but we got a $100 offer on the Willis and Geiger jacket. And we made the decision that it was smarter to sell it because it didn't get a lot of traction. So
were we at Walmart when that happened?
Maybe we were.
I kind of remember us being at Walmart.
Okay, maybe we were together.
Anyway, keep going.
Either way, we talked it through, and we decided based on the fact that it didn't have a lot of traction, and we knew it wasn't going to get a lot of traction to make the sale. Now, we sold after fees, and the person actually paid shipping as well, which helped. So after everything, we got $96.33 from it. So we profited $69.33. We would have profited roughly $50 more, probably like 48 after fees and stuff, 45 extra after fees or something. So we could have made a lot more money, but the fact of the matter is, if we had declined that guy's offer, how long would it have been until we got another offer for the jacket?
That was the first offer we got, I believe.
It was. Yeah, first offer. And so we decided to take it. We made $69 really. We made $69 really quickly, and you really don't want to argue with that. We made 250% ish, in a very rough math, 250% off one jacket, and that is what you want. You're looking for those 100, 200, 300, 400, 1,000% returns. There are items out there that you can get returns like that. We've had, well, go to the bait polo real quick. We made $49 and bought it for $10. So we had almost a 500% return on that item. So, and that one was an offer as well. Yeah, that thing was listed for like 75. We took 60 for it. Another piece where people had been shooting offers and nobody was really climbing to that height. So we finally got one that we got at the highest we could, and we were like, let's sell it. Let's make this money so we can turn it around, buy more inventory, make more sales, make more money. So, it's a good idea to make the sale when you can. That's not always the case, because with the Polo Spella, I know I talked about that. We got an offer for it today or yesterday. Let's see, we bought that for about $25. We got an offer for 30, 35, somewhere around there. It wasn't as high as we wanted after fees and everything. We were only going to make a couple dollars off of it. And so I countered back 40, and he declined it. And so it was, okay, that shirt has got a bunch of likes on Instagram, a bunch of likes on Mercari, a bunch of likes on Poshmark. It's gotten traction. Those are the items where you can really make a stand and say, no, I'm not going to take these lowball prices. I'm going to take what I want for the shirt. I want to make the return. Now, say after that, we don't get an offer for another
week or two.
We get a nice offer, maybe. Say it's a couple months from now. Something weird. There's just like nobody sees the shirt. Something's happening. We get an offer, even if it's the same offer that we got last time, which was only a couple of dollars. Well, we may take the offer because it'll put the money back in our account and allow us to reinvest it. We'll only make a $4 or $5 off the shirt, but we'll essentially get $30 back into the account.
Yeah, it essentially wasn't worth the investment. We were holding, let's say, a $10 shirt for a month at this point, and it's worth getting that $14 return, so the $4 profit, taking the $14 and reinvesting it in something else that will sell much quicker and make yield for a bigger profit.
Exactly. So those are the things. Those are the analyses you got to make while you're looking at the items, because some items may seem like a good idea. You could buy something and be like, oh, this is perfect. This is going to make us tons of money. Sits there forever, never sells, and eventually you just need that money back. I mean, you could buy expensive items. It happens. We do it occasionally. The motorcycle jacket.
Right.
We bought an armored motorcycle jacket that's still on for sale. That was, I think it was with my brother Austin. I think it was one of the first things we bought first time I ever went out. That's still for sale. I spent like $13 on it. $11.65 on it. At this point, I'd probably take any offer for it. I just want the money back. It's sitting up, it's taking space. It's been months since it's been listed. If anybody showed any interest in it, I'd probably take the offer because I want to make the sale and I want to get the item. I want to move the inventory. It's all about moving inventory. That's what you need to snowball it. You need to make more sales so more people see you, so you make more sales, and it snowballs.
Whether at the beginning you're gonna have to take less for an item. For an example, like a vintage T-shirt, we're gonna have to take, I don't know, $20, $25 for the T-shirt. And once you get an audience, once you start building a fan base, you can sell that exact same T-shirt for $40.
Exactly. This whole.
So it's all about getting your name out there.
Yeah, and a lot of people, if you follow Instagram thrifters and people who do this, a lot of them sell items for really cheap, but there's also a lot that sell items for way more than you'd ever imagine them being priced at. And that's because they have a fan base and they have an audience that will buy the clothes. So that's another thing you have to pick when you're picking an audience and you're choosing your kind of, I guess, your market strategy, which we'll go into more next week. But you have to decide whether or not the item is worth it, whether or not the return is going to be worth it, and whether or not the investment was worth it. Because a cheap item, say you buy a shirt for 99 cents, you have it listed for $25, $30 or something, and then somebody offers you $15. You haven't got any traction on it in a month. That's a good sale.
That's you make
at least $10 off of it.
in profit. So you
Yeah.
do like $12, you make what is that, 1,000, 1,200%?
Yeah, something like that. You make a ton of money off
When
of
you
it.
think about it, $12, that's not that much money, but it's like,
But
when
off
you
of
spend
99
99 cents on a shirt, you got to think about it, you're making 1,200% of that, you're making 1,200% on that.
Yeah, that's an
initial
insane
investment.
margin. An insane margin. You buy 10 99-cent shirts, you spend $10, you're making $120 back. It starts to seem like a lot of money at that point. So it's things like that. What you really have to do is decide for yourselves. We're just trying to give you a basis, really, of what we look at and how we decide. But it all comes down to what you want to do. That's what makes this so fun. That's why we enjoy it so much, is you have so much more freedom. And so it allows you to choose when you make sales, when you don't make sales, when you negotiate, when you don't negotiate, when you completely shut them down. We got an offer on, I declined one the other day, like just flat out declined it. Go on Mercari real quick.
We got a,
I don't remember what offer it was. Let's see what this is. There's a reason for it. I can't remember specifically, so we're going to look it up real quick so we can give you guys a nice example of why you would decline one immediately. Let's see this.
while he's looking that up, yesterday we have a stitched Hurricanes jersey for sale. I think we have it listed for $28 on
That's the
eBay.
one I declined, I think. No, we just
that one was on eBay. And we got an offer for $15. And for those of you who don't know, a stitched jersey is worth so much more than a screen printed jersey. So we had it listed for $28. It's an authentic NHL Hurricanes jersey, and we got a $15 offer. Clearly, that jersey is worth so much more than $15. If it were screen printed, $15 would be reasonable. But we had a sewn jersey listed for $28. That's a really fair price. We're not going to be super lenient on that price. That one's, for the most part, set in stone.
It's listed for $35 on other sites.
Exactly. So I went ahead and countered that offer. I was like, $26. You can have the jersey. He didn't want to do the $26. He was selling $15. Just declined it. It's like,
yes, you have to.
You
have
gotta
to choose.
you gotta know. You can't be like, oh, we got an offer. Time to sell this thing. It's not always sell to like your first offer. Set a price the lowest you'll go and stick with that price. Don't go any lower than that unless it's been X amount of time.
Yeah.
Go ahead and drop that price. 10%, whatever it is, and you'll eventually make the sale.
Yeah, you may need to get the item out, but with the jersey we bought 2 weeks ago, maybe, jerseys are always hot items. Hockey jerseys are really nice. That's something we're not going to sell. The item that I was thinking of was this polo hat. Remember I texted you about the price of it?
Oh yeah.
So, I got this polo sport hat, and it was, I don't remember how much I got it, but I listed it at $30. Now, I
$224.
I actually looked it up afterwards, or looked up polo sport hats, and everyone I saw was selling between $35 and $50. Some were even selling closer to $75 and $100. And so I looked it up right after we got the offer. Somebody sent an offer for $18. And I was like, no, that's almost half off. Or we can definitely, I know we can get more for this hat. Without a doubt, we can get more for this hat than $18. So I counted 24. He went to 20. When he went to 20, I started to get a little skeptical, and I looked up the hat, because I actually checked out his profile, and this person thrifts and resells, and so it made me a little skeptical. I was like, maybe he's getting this, maybe he's being lowballing because he wants to resell this hat in general. Maybe not. Maybe he just wanted the hat. But I texted Tyler about it, and I asked him. I was like, "Hey, look up Polo Sport hats and tell me what you think the price marker should be." And he said definitely higher than $30, and so we agreed on $50. So we upped the price on the hat. Now, the hat's priced at $50. Probably going to get less interaction because it's a more expensive hat. But if we get an offer that's $20 off at $30, that's what we're planning on selling on anyways. So we'd still make
we got it for 224.
1,000%?
So, yeah.
1,000% or something. So
That's
right?
if we sold it if we got $20 profit, it'd be 1,000%. So
a little over 1,000%, probably
if we sold it
1,500%.
for 30, that's I don't know 1,500. Yeah, 1,500.
Yeah, so something like that. Some we're not very good at math. Some amount of percent we'd make on the hat. But either way, those are situations where it's okay to decline when one you're realizing through offer after offer that the buyer's never going to meet the price point you want, so you might as well just decline it because it's not going to happen.
And that hat has been getting traction ever since. People are looking at it. It's just,
Yeah.
It'll take the right buyer. Someone who wants to spend $50 on. You gotta really appreciate the hat.
Yeah, you gotta appreciate the style. You gotta appreciate the rarity of the hat. You gotta appreciate how special a hat is. And $50 is an unreasonable amount for a rare hat. I mean, it's not an unreasonable amount for a rare item in general. To some people who don't think that clothing is worth $50 in general, buying a hat for $50 may seem completely unreasonable. But to collectors, especially polo collectors, because this is like a legitimate polo sport. It's got the polo sport tag, but it's just the hat, a buckle. It's a nice hat. It's gonna make a sale for at least anywhere between $30 and $50, and I'm not worried about it at all. So I declined that one, so we were able to raise the price and make sure we made as much money as we really wanted to on the item. So that, I guess we kind of covered all the little pieces of it, kind of, but more. I want to make sure we went over it. So we talked about when you should make the sale and not be greedy. When you have items sitting for a long time. When you have items that you might as well sell because you got them for really cheap and they're not getting a lot of traction. When you have items that you got for fairly expensive but they're selling for a ton, not getting a lot of traction, make the sale. We talked about when you shouldn't make the sale and you should decline. Now, the iffy situations are a little harder, where you're sitting on an item and you get an offer. Let's take the Nike jacket for example.
The windbreaker?
No, the sweatshirt, the red sweatshirt.
Oh right.
That was listed for what, 25, right?
I think so.
Let's see where it's It's up a little bit. Red Nike crew neck right there. So 20. I believe it was listed for 25. There was another item that really fit this bill a lot better, but I'm not sure what. Oh, the Psycho Bunny too. So we have two items we'll talk about that are more iffy. So, red Nike crew neck. It was literally just a crew neck sweatshirt, Nike swoosh. It was fairly new, wasn't vintage or anything, but it was in really good condition. It was, I think it was $4.99 when I bought it, because after tax and everything it was $5.46. So like, yeah, I'll grab that. That'll sell for a quick $25, $30. So we had it listed for $25. It's getting a lot of traction. And we got an offer for $20. So I was thinking about it. I was like, hey, it's $5 less than we want. We're going to lose that $5 clearly, because if we accept this. But I was like, look, it was a $5 item. It wasn't too terribly expensive. Wasn't crazy cheap. We're not going to make any more than probably 25 off of it.
Right, it's not like a rare piece or anything. It's just.
Yeah, it doesn't have
Nike,
a high
yeah.
demand or a specific buyer. It's just somebody wants a Nike sweatshirt, and it was in good condition, so we bought it. So we made the decision that $20 was fine. Let's sell it. Let's make that $14. We made $14.54 in profit off that item. Let's take that money. That gives us $14 to spend on however many items. We can get at a $3 $5 items with that. We can get 3 more of those sweatshirts and make what, $28, $30, $42 off of it. And so that's a sale that you want to make. That's iffy. We could have declined it. We would have sold it at 25 eventually, probably not too much longer after, but we needed that. We didn't need the money. We wanted the money. We wanted to make the sale. Yeah, a quick flip. Quick flips, especially if you can make a high enough profit. We made over 100%, like 150% off of that. No, 200%. Yeah, 200% off of that. A 200% quick flip can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
Now, the Psycho Bunny Polo. Here's another one. That one turned out it wasn't a great buy. Now, I looked it up on eBay when I saw it. It was they were selling $20 to $30, somewhere around there. It was $4.99, $3.99.
$4.50. Yeah.
$3.99. So I got it for $4.50 after tax and everything. I bought it with a couple other things, and it wasn't getting a ton of traction. Now, we got an offer from somebody at $16. It was listed for 25. It was listed for 25. It was listed for $25. Got an offer at 16. I countered $20, and the person never responded. Weeks went by, and it was only a few days ago. They countered 16 again. We made the decision that the fact that it wasn't getting any traction, we accepted the fact it was a bad buy. You have to make you have to be honest with yourself sometimes. So we took the $16 offer. It was 16, right? 160 and
Yeah.
450.
Yeah, I think it was
5. Yeah, it was $16, $15, $16. And so we got $9.25 out of it.
We got
and we made $4.75 on it.
So we made a 100% return.
Yeah, we made a 100% return, which again, you can't argue it. We would have liked to make a lot more money off of it, but in the scheme of things, that's an item that probably would have sold for a lot longer, because that one specific buyer, that's what you really need, is you're looking for specific buyers of these items, and if that guy came back after a couple weeks, he wanted the item, so we sold it.
And honestly, I think that's what he was doing was, he's like, I'm not going to go any lower than 16, I'll wait to see if it sells, if not, I'll offer 16 again.
Yeah. He had a good strategy. He outlasted us, which is
fair. And I mean, it didn't hurt us because
we still made money.
We were willing to sell it at $16 because it hadn't been getting any traction, just like he had originally thought. So it helped both of us, I guess.
He got the shirt he wanted. We made some money. It was win-win. We got it out of the way. It's not sitting over there collecting dust anymore. So there will be iffy items that could go either way. You could either be like, I think I could sell this more, and you'll sit on it, or you'd be like, I might as well sell this, get the money, and flip, get some other things. There's nothing wrong with either option. That really is your decision. We were a lot more flexible with electronics when it came to this, because it was different there, because we were buying bulks, like wholesale, essentially, kind of wholesale, but
pretty much.
And it kind of was. Essentially was. So
lots. We're buying lots of them.
Yeah, so we just got a bunch of stuff. But we weren't item by item tracking it like we are with the clothes, which we should have been, but we just weren't. And so we'd get an item.
And we will in the future.
Yeah.
You live and you learn. That's how you learn.
Exactly. But we'd have an item listed for $90. It's getting a bunch of views. We finally get an offer for $75, $80. We're like, yeah, let's sell it. Let's make this money. Because essentially what we were trying to do there was, say we bought a whole lot for $300. We are keeping track of how close we are to making that $300 back so we can push into profit. And so say we're at $280 and we get an offer for this item that's listed for $90 for $78. Like, hey, that's going to shoot us over the edge and put us into profit. Let's make it. Let's hit profit and let's roll on from there. So we don't have to worry about it. Make sure we have our money and we're profiting and we're ready to buy the next lot. So electronics, we were a lot more flexible. We probably could have made a lot more money if we tracked it. Honestly, we probably would have been. Yeah. But we were doing fine. We were doing well enough. We weren't losing money.
We made a good amount.
Yeah, we made.
It was our first couple of runs. We honestly weren't that deep into it. We didn't know
we were still learning
as much as we were doing, and we
knew we were making
still
money.
Managed to make a a good return.
Went from like
So,
$800 to $1,600 in a matter of a few months. So
100% return.
it wasn't a terrible endeavor, and it was really good to learn because it was fairly safe because we knew what we were going into. Anyways, it's gonna depend on your financial management style. It's gonna depend on your items because clothing is a lot more specific than electronics. I mean, there are collectors that are looking like games are more specific, but clothing especially is really buyer by buyer. So it's just your style. You get to choose. Ultimately, it's your decision. You have the end. The buyer gets to send an offer and say, hey, hopefully he takes this. But it all comes down to if you hit that accept, decline, or counter button. It is your decision in the end. So
like I said earlier, keep a strict rule with yourself. Like, don't go below your lowest point. You say, this is my lowest point. Don't go below that because you get excited and, hey, this is my first sale. They're offering me 15. I set my minimum at 19. That's not too far off. But you set that minimum with yourself. Stick with that minimum, or you're never going to profit the way you want to profit in the long run. That one time you're going to be like, that one exception to the rule is going to keep carrying over, and you're always going to have that exception. Just stay strict with yourself. Set those goals for yourself, and you'll be right where you want to be at.
Exactly. Make sure when you're setting goals so that they are realistic. Don't be unrealistic about it. But it's hard to be completely unrealistic.
Right.
But yeah, setting goals is a really good idea, and make sure you stick with them unless there's an extreme circumstance, like it's been sitting for 7 months or something. I mean, then you
And
just
sometimes if you have some, like, for an example, we bought some shoes. The second thing we ever bought, it was some Nike Air Force Ones. We spent $53 on it.
They've been sitting.
We haven't got a single offer on it. At that point, that's something. If we got $40,
yeah.
I mean, we have $53.
As long as we made, it's exactly $52.64. As long as we made $52.65 on or even $52.64, as long as we got the exact amount of money back, I'd be fine with selling them. I want those shoes gone because
honestly, at this point, this was, I don't know how long ago, but might be one of the items you just have to take a loss on.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what it is, if we get an offer that's reasonable enough, I mean, I'm not going to take the shoes for $20, but
Right.
we get a reasonable offer. It's
Right.
We just want the money so we can reinvest it. It's really it'll make a difference because at this point, you're already like positive with it. So taking a little tiny couple dollar loss on one item isn't going to shoot you back anywhere. It isn't going to hurt you at all. It's just going to give you more money to reinvest. It's going to look like you're even making money off of it, even though you're not. That's why it's also good to keep a finance sheet. But that essentially wraps up the knowledge section of this podcast.
One little thing about that was in my head earlier, and I totally forgot about it. Just remember about the clothes thing, about where to keep your prices strict and where to not keep them strict. If it's like a designer brand like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, keep them strict.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what those items
are
are worth.
valued. They all sell for almost around the exact same thing every single time. Don't take anything less than that. Stay strict with your price. Don't even move a couple dollars. Like, stay with your point. For like Hypebeast, Supreme, Off-White, whatever it is, stay strict with those. People pay obnoxious amounts of money for them. When it comes to things like
The Nike,
or like
Adidas shirts, you think are cool, like
shirts,
like one of these
vintage
shirts we're about to show you.
Polos, you can be a little more flexible with that because you're like, this is a vintage shirt, not many are selling. What do we price it at? Be more flexible with that. Stay strict with the more well-known, hyped up designer stuff, and more lenient with vintage clothes and polos and things that aren't
As sought after, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point because it helps you decipher between what item is worth sticking with your price and what item is worth like cutting off and making the sale. So again, it's seller discretion. Make the decision, be intelligent with it, do your research before buying something, and it's going to be hard to go wrong. All right, Now to the fun part. We'll go through what we've gathered this week so far, and
Few items at least.
we'll come up. Yeah, these are some of the items prior, some of our good ones, and then we will come up with a keyword in a second as we're doing this for 10% off any of these items you see. So, first off, we have an official Ferrari quarter zip sweater. This thing I almost didn't buy because it's sized at XL, and this is not an XL.
I fit it perfectly, and I wear a medium.
Yes,
So.
this is a medium. So we're just, I mean, in the description, size XL fits like a medium. Simple enough. But it is official Ferrari, so
It's really cool. I've worn it around. I'm not gonna lie. It's cool.
it's a good item. So this is one. I think it's listed at $30. Then we have a quarter zip Virginia Tech windbreaker. It's a little thicker, a little more warmth to it. This was a nice item because it was fairly cheap and it's in really good condition. This is listed at $25. We have a Tommy Hilfiger crest emblem polo. No vintage or anything, just it's got the crest rather than the flag. This is listed at 25 or 30, something like that, somewhere around there. This is what size? This is an XL. I got this today actually. We got a Columbia, like a vintage Columbia hat. It's an XL. It's a big beanie, but it'll fit well on lots of hair.
Yeah.
This is listed at 15 or 20, I believe.
It wasn't too far off my head. I mean, it was a little big for my head, but it wasn't.
Yeah, you got a lot of hair.
It wasn't obnoxious.
You got a lot of hair. It'll fit well. This is probably my favorite item for the week, I think. This is a vintage. It's 1991 Bristol Raceway in Virginia, International Race. I think it's in Virginia. Bristol International. It's an old vintage single stitch shirt. From April 14th, 1991. This is listed at $25. Then we have a vintage 80s Camise Lacoste polo. This was a cool find. I never buy Lacoste just because they don't sell for a lot of money. But this piece in particular is really old, so I had to grab it. I mean, the logo even looks different.
Yeah,
before they switched up the logo since then. So that was really cool. So I had to grab it. And finally, we have a Pittsburgh Steelers windbreaker. And then turn that one around.
I really like the back.
Yeah, that one's worth seeing the back. It's got a really nice back. Again, it was in really good condition, so we knew we had to grab it. That is listed at $25. The Lacoste is $30. This is listed at $25 as well. It's in awesome condition.
Looks like brand new.
Yeah. And yeah, we might as well. The Supreme hat, also, we'll throw this in for this week's. It is listed at $60 right now, 10% off if you hit with the code NASA. We're going to go NASA for your sweatshirt. NASA's the code, and the DM's at the Flipstas Flipstas.apparel. That is in the description of this video.
Instagram.
That's our Instagram for any of these items that you see. And then this hat is at $50.
Speaking of which, that would look really good with the Steelers thing. Bundle it, say Steelers fit, 15% off for this outfit.
Yeah, you buy both of these items, you can get 15% off. If you buy them each, you get 10% off if you just want one item. So, that is going to wrap it up. Closing out, it is Cody.
And it is Tyler.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.